When Jogaila went to Krakow in 1386, he left Skirgaila as his regent in Lithuania. We, the Vilnius nobility, considered him to be worthless. He was arrogant and haughty, and looked down on other Gediminians. On learning this, Jogaila was quite alarmed and sent the Polish elder Klement Moskorzewski with a military battalion to Vilnius. Our nobles flew into rage, and Vytautas, Kęstutis' son, was of the opinion that the time had come for military action. He went to Vilnius and tried to take it by force, but Vilnius did not give in, and for a second time he had to resort to the order for asylum and military assistance. In return to it, he had to make a commitment to keep the promises he had given at the time of his first escape in 1384. At the head of the army of the order, he was devastating Lithuania. In 1390 and 1391, he attacked Vilnius and burned the Kreivoje castle. He decided to make a union with Moscow, and to consolidate it, he married his daughter Sophia to Vasily I. King Jogaila and Polish nobility grew uneasy about the situation that had developed, and in the spring of 1392 proposed peace to Vytautas, and also the post of the regent of Lithuania. In summer, Vytautas returned to Lithuania, and on the 4th of August in Ostrava was granted the right to rule the Grand Duchy of Lithuania on behalf of Jogaila, and to be titled the Duke of Lithuania. He acknowledged Jogaila's supremacy, as well as the fact that after his death his lands will go to the King of Poland. Drastic changes were brought about in the state. They shocked our society. In some years the young ruler took from Jogaila's brothers and their successors the regional duchies they ruled. Posts of the dukes were taken by vicegerents appointed by Vytautas, people who had no blood ties with the dynasty of the Gediminians and who were in no position to make claims to the position of the Grand Duke, became representatives of the authorities. In this way, Vytautas carried out the necessary but painful centralization of the state. Relations of Lithuania and Poland altered considerably after Jogaila, a Lithuanian, ascended to the Polish throne. Meanwhile, the order was storming in from the west, and in the east, Muscovy, which had assumed the role of a unifier and protector of Russian lands, was coming up. Jogaila, the son of Algirdas, inherited from his father Polotsk, Vitebsk, Smolensk, Bryansk, Podol and Volhynia. The rest of Russia, however, was ruled by the Tatars. After some confusion in the Golden Horde in 1395, and after Han Timur Kutluk overthrew Han Tokhtamysh, Vytautas promised to support the latter. Han Tokhtamysh renounced his rights to the Russian lands, which at the time already belonged to Lithuania, in exchange for power in the Golden Horde, and promised to assist in getting new territories. Our ruler Vytautas hoped to be granted the right to collect taxes in all of Russia. In that case, the Duke of Moscow would have become Vytautas's vassals. Christian Lithuania organized its first crusade against the Tatars, which was blessed by Pope Boniface IX. Even the German order brought some thousands of warriors led by Marquard von Salzbach. Lithuanian, Polish, Russian, Teutonic and Tokhtamyshyn cohorts came together in Kiev, and they were led by about 50 dukes. On the 12th of August 1399, the Allies confronted the cohorts led by Timur Kutluk and his general Edigay by the tributary of the Dnieper Vorskla. Having destroyed Vytautas' formations by a misleading maneuver of retreat, the Tatars overwhelmed the Allies completely. 3/4 of Grand Duke's warriors were killed. The majority of Vytautas' commanders were killed, more than 20 Lithuanian and Russian dukes altogether. Among them Algirdas' sons Dmitry and Andrius, Jonutis' son Mykolas, the Duke of Smolensk Gleb, many Poles and Teutonic knights. Vytautas himself had a rather narrow escape from the battlefield. Tatars also had their losses, as the chieftain Timur Kutluk was mortally wounded. The defeat at Vorskla shocked Lithuania and Poland. In Slavonic lands, a wave of revolts against Vytautas ensued. Smolensk separated from Lithuania and was regained only in 1304. Relations with Moscow also deteriorated, and both countries started devastating each other's border regions. In 1409, we organized a march against Muscovy. When the armies met by the Ugra River, there was no fighting. We concluded the Ugra Peace Treaty and decided to address the issues of Teutonic order which threatened Lithuania and Poland. After 1401, when Jogailai and the Polish nobility acknowledged the right of Vytautas to Lithuania and started titling him Grand Duke of Lithuania, our ruler terminated the eternal peace of 1398 with the order, and in 1401 resumed military action. Samogitians revolted, and Jogaila's younger brother Švitrigaila, who was eager to assume the Lithuanian throne, joined the banner of the Teutonic Order. Again we needed to start talks, until in 1404 we concluded a new peace treaty in Racionj. Samogitia again went to the order, and Poles made a commitment not to interfere into any conflict related to Samogitia. Vytautas managed to get the order's commitment not to support the revolting Gediminians and its promise to grant military assistance in case of his military activities in Russian lands. After Racionj, we had 6 years of tension. We were expecting crucial developments. In 1408, the ruler concluded a treaty with Moscow. In 1409, Samogitians revolted, and the order's troops invaded the Dobrin territory in Poland. The fateful year 1410 came. At the beginning of June, Lithuanian and Samogitian troops set out from Vilnius and in Grodno joined the Russian regiments. At the end of June, Lithuanian and Polish troops met at Czerwiński and moved in the direction of Marienburg. On the 15th of May, the armies met in Grunwald. The Battle of Grunwald, which lasted for 10 hours, ended up with a military catastrophe for the order. The top commanders of the order were killed: Grand Master Ulrich von Jungingen, Marshal Friedrich von Wallenrod, the Marshal Grosskomtur Konrad von Liechtenstein. All in all, the Teutonic Knights lost 200 commanders and about 14,000 warriors. This ended for good the onslaught of the order on the Lithuanian and Polish lands. On the 1st of February, we concluded Torun peace treaty. It was the first time when the order had to concede the defeat publicly and return Samogitia to Lithuania and the Dobrin territory to Poland. True, Samogitia was returned only for the lifetime of Vytautas and Jogaila. The order was still restless, and the German Emperor Sigismund von Luxembourg had to designate the arbitrator, Benedict Macra, to solve the issue of Samogitia. In 1413, he arrived at a decision: Samogitia may not go to the order. More than that, all of the right bank of the Nemunas and the sea coast, including Klaipėda, had to belong to Samogitia, he concluded. The order rejected such decision, and the next year Vytautas and Jogaila invaded its lands. With the Pope and the Emperor acting as mediators, both parties agreed to have the dispute decided at the Council of Constance. Pending the Council of Constance, important things happened in our state. In 1413, both rulers agreed that after Vytautas' death, the Grand Duke of Lithuania, and after Jogaila's death, the King of Poland, would be elected with the participation of Lithuanian nobility. Our ruler Vytautas went to the long-awaited Council of Constance in 1418. Unfortunately, that meeting failed to solve the Samogitian issue. In 1419 in Gniewków, in 1420 in Wrocław, until in 1422 the Meln Peace Treaty was concluded. Although the order was granted the estuary of the Nemunas and Klaipėda, we regained the coastal stripe from Palanga to Šventoji. Thus we received access to the Baltic Sea, and holdings of the order were divided. This peace treaty terminated more than 200 years of war between Lithuania and the Teutonic Order. During the reign of Vytautas the Great, Lithuania had a spark of hope to find its way back into the club of European kingdoms. For Europe, Lithuania had for a long time been a kingdom. After King Mindaugas' death, the majority of our rulers were titled by the neighbors and titled themselves as kings. They were Vaišvilkas, Traidenis, Vytenis, Gediminas, and Algirdas. Having concluded Melno Peace Treaty and having disposed of the ominous shadow of the order, Lithuania became a big and influential East European state. Its territory extended from the Baltic Sea to the Black Sea. It protected the rest of Europe from the Tatars and the Slavonic duchies, which were ruled by them, and Lithuanian territory was a few times bigger than that of our neighbors, the Kingdom of Poland. All of Europe, perhaps with the exception of Polish nobility, never posed a question about the lawfulness of the Kingdom of Lithuania. This is confirmed by the fact that it was the Emperor of Germany Sigismund himself who proposed that our ruler Vytautas be crowned as the King of Lithuania. This proposal was voiced publicly in Lutsk meeting in 1429. The rulers of Lithuania and Poland, the dukes of Moscow and other Russian lands, representatives of German towns and duchies, and people's legates came together therein to discuss the issues of Eastern Europe. Diplomatic measures were in no way sufficient for the Poles to prevent the coronation of Vytautas, which was due on the 8th of September 1430. So they resorted to open thievery. They stole the crown that was carried across its lands. Some people say that Jogailai sanctioned the endeavor. However, it is not true, because the king was aware of the fact that Vytautas had no successors. That is why, after his death, one of Jogailai's sons would have become the king of Lithuania. After the theft of the crown, our ruler did not live long. On the 27th of October, 1430, he suddenly died on his way from Trakai to Vilnius. We buried him in Vilnius Cathedral, which he himself had reconstructed in the royal manner while preparing for his coronation.